Yo, what's good? It's O.D.D.I.T.Y and welcome back to another episode of The Craft, where I talk all things hip hop, from my opinions to my experience to advice that I've accrued from years of being a hip hop artist myself. And for those that don't know, I do this, so everything that I'm speaking is not just off a whim and just off of opinions that I've learned. Like, this is stuff that I have gone through, and I'm not saying that my way is the right way. I'm just opening up my channel as a way for me to share my experience as a hip hop artist and what has gotten me to this point. So thanks for tuning in. Let's get into this episode.
Some just do it for the cash, others do it for the passion. Is you working on your craft? Is you really about that action? Some just do it for the cash, others do it for the passion. Is you working on your craft? Is you really about that action? The Craft. Welcome.
So on one of the previous episodes, people asked me, how do you rap so fast? And I kind of had a long-winded answer, but I also get asked other questions similar to that. And so this episode is revolving around another question that has been asked about my own personal style of music, which is, how do you know when to switch up your flow during a verse? That is a very good question as well, because that is something that I struggled with for the first 5, 6, 7 years of me writing music. I was good at finding one flow and sticking to it throughout, and I allowed the production to dictate that flow. And so it made me stick to certain types of production as opposed to being well-rounded or being having the ability to be on any type of beat. I mean, any type of beat: country, rock, pop, hip hop, R&B, neo soul. It doesn't matter. Whatever production is put in front of me as a feature, as a main artist, I now have the ability and feel comfortable with any type of production because I can adapt my flow and I know when to and how to switch up cadences and flows. And so to answer that question, I think it's similar to the last episode, where it's not something that happens overnight. It takes a lot of practice. We talk about the 10,000 hour to become a proficient professional in anything. And I am definitely past that point. So I would say I'm a professional in this. I think when you put in that many hours, things become subconscious. You don't think about them. It becomes ingrained into you. And so things that you used to have to think really hard about or wonder and look up and just, it was outside of your realm of thinking, now just becomes innate, second nature. And what I'm saying about that is, when I hear a new beat, if I'm writing a verse, I used to just follow the percussion or the main beat line of the production, and all the other sounds kind of just were like, there was no point. And now, as I've gotten more comfortable listening to different types of productions, and okay, here's another thing, rappers. The best thing you can do is sit in on the session with a producer when they are making the beat, because then you are aware of all the intricate details of that beat because you're there step by step. And so that's for a whole nother episode, but I just wanted to slide that in there. But if you're getting a beat just sent to you and for the first time you've never heard it, the best thing you can do is listen to it. You can attack it right away, just with how you approach, like how your mind hears it the first time. You can attack it the first time you hear it, which is a good method. Or you can break it down like I do into puzzle pieces and put the loop on and just attack it bit by bit. And if the production is intricate enough, not even intricate, it doesn't have to be intricate, but if it's not just a loop, if there's different points that change up in the beat, those are the easiest ways to know when to switch up your flow, or good points to switch up your flow. But it doesn't have to be on those obvious parts. The obvious parts are when drums switch up, when snares, when the hi-hats, when the kicks, when there's a change in those, that's an obvious point. But there's little intricate things sometimes, like little bells, little synths, little the strings, things like that the average listener isn't going to pick up on unless you switch up your flow on those moments. Does that make sense? Like, let's say it's a 16 bar verse, and it comes in, and it's more instrumental, like piano, and the drums aren't as heavy, and so you're rapping calmer, right? Then after 4 bars, you hear like there might be some cowbells or something really like a triangle being hit or something really subtle in the background. You could change it up there, or you could just keep that calmer flow, or you could start to pick it up because something was added. Then let's say 8 bars through, halfway through the verse, the drums kick in, so then you get more aggressive. And then the last 4 bars, like a synth comes in, or like a build up for the hook, and so you get even more aggressive. That's just an example. That's not the all be all outline of how to do a verse. The beauty of music is, and the beauty of being an artist is, it's open to your interpretation. So there's no right or wrong way, and that's what I used to struggle with, was how do I do this? Like, I used to ask questions, and I'm sure the producers and the studio engineers and the artists that I looked up to, and they probably used to get annoyed because I would ask, like, why is this way, and like, how do I get There's nothing wrong with being an artist who has a niche flow, and you just you do that on every song, and that's like, people expect that, and that there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do it, own it, find your production, find your crowd. There's no right or wrong way. For me, the joy comes in rapping and finding that pocket and finding that cadence and that flow for each individual production that I am going to record on. That's the joy for me. So if that's something that you feel like is appealing to you, just go check out my channel, check out my music. You can see in each different song, I don't rap the same way. And yeah, there's overlapping styles, but there's not one song where you could say, like, that is, like, I could just mimic that flow. I can copy that flow, and I will sound just like O.D.D.I.T.Y. Like, there's certain artists, Juicy J, there's certain artists, Soulja Boy, you know, who Migos with the mumble rap, certain styles, and it's not to throw shade at those styles. Those styles make those artists millions and gain them thousands and thousands and thousands of fans. But I prefer, and it makes me happy to be able to approach each track differently, like it's putting a puzzle together. It's what brings me joy, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not doing this music for anybody else, and so I hope that that's helpful for you guys, because again, it can seem overwhelming, but if you want to know when to change your flow and your cadence, that's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. So thank you guys again for tuning in. The name's O.D.D.I.T.Y. If you haven't been to the channel before, please check out all the other videos I have. I've got music videos. There's more podcasts here. There's even another podcast called Oddly Worded, which I need to get back on that one, but it goes in depth on lyrics in my songs and why I chose those lyrics and what they mean. So, well, make sure you hit subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, and let's have this discourse, because hip hop is my heart and I want to share with you guys. See you next episode.